don't know where I'm going to go with this, but I've just had this urge to, I don't know, about 2 weeks to do this little video, and it's not about trapping. So I had one guy say he didn't want to come on here to listen to sermons. Well, I'm not a preacher and I don't do sermons, but someone out there just wants to hear this. You know what? It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. When I came into my situation, became single, it wasn't anything that I was even prepared for. No adultery on my side, no physical. I mean, even the attorney I talked to said, well, why are y'all getting a divorce? I was like, I'm trying to figure that one out. But you know what? I take 100% of my 50%. But it's been about almost 2 years, and a lot has happened. But it's going to be okay. And I've told myself, you know, if things hadn't happened the way they happened, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. Because I had to dig down deep and find myself. Now, I was put in a position, I had to referee soccer games just to make my house payment. I've been through a lot, but you know what? It's going to be okay. I thought the world was coming to an end. You know, suicide was heavily on my head. I just didn't know what I was going to do. And then I got invited to a church Bible study. I hadn't been to church in 30 years. I was not a regular goer. So when I say, if he can save me, he can save you, trust me. This is coming from someone who did not go to a regular church since I moved out of my house when I was 18 years old. Went off to college, never went to church. I just never went. Wasn't that I wasn't a believer, but you know what? My pastor said it good. He didn't believe in coincidences, but everything I was like was a coincidence. He said there's a purpose, but you got to be thinking what the purpose is. And these past nearly 2 years, they started off rough. I didn't think I was going to make it through. But the more I started thinking about God and religion, and I did a story a while back, and it's on my YouTube page, on my personal thing, about the dove. Ever since that dove thing happened, things have been changing. And look, like I say, I couldn't recite you a single Bible verse. I go to church. I'm not a member there just because I don't want to walk up in front of the congregation. Like I said, I'm a pretty big introvert. But it's going to be okay. You just got to take the time. And as my faith got bigger and bigger, and I started learning and understanding, and look, I don't know. Heck, I got a long ways to go. But as I surrendered that situation over to God and said, you take care of this, I'm done. And I forgave the people that were involved in that situation. My life has gotten better. My little company, I started out with no money, nothing. You know, I applied to jobs when I was by myself and didn't get either of them. I was like, dadgum, I was told I was qualified and there's no way I'm not going to get this job, and I didn't get either of them. And things, I didn't know where money was going to come from. And then when I got the opportunity to retire, you know, 50, I had to have 20 years and be over 50. I had it. I called my sister. I had 9-hour notice. And this is divine timing. Is I got an email, and I'd happen to have my government computer at 7:56 p.m. I was sitting in a parking lot where I work. Happened to open it and never open them. I just never do. They were going through some changes, and I didn't like how it was going to be. And at the end, it said, or you can take the early retirement. it ended the next day. So I had like 9 hours to make a life-changing decision. I called my sister, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I didn't pray on it. And you know, God will sit there and help you. Even if he knows you're trying, he'll help you out. I know that for a fact. And I took that chance, that leap of faith. And that's what I call it. And every time I needed money, I started going, God, I don't know if I'm going to make it this month. You know, I don't know if I'm going to make my mortgage. I don't know. I just need. One time I was coming back from the Ben's Bible study, and I'd gotten 5 soccer games to ref. And this is how I was making ends meet. I said, God, I was in the Bible study. I said, I need like 2 or 3 more games so I can make my bills. And on the way home, I got a call from the assigner. Hey, Dana, we got you 3 more games. Was that coincidence, or was that God going, I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. And I got those 3 games. Every time things got tight, and look, I'm not a spender. I buy all my clothes are from the thrift store. Something always came through. I'd need a job. Something came through. And then certain ideas started popping in my head. Don't know where they came from. And they're going to be good for the company. And then I'd need a little bit more money and go, I don't know how I'm going to get through this month. And then I get a job. And slowly the jobs have gotten more prominent. And my little page here, 546 followers a year and 3 months ago, and now look at it. I just go to the woods and I work. I got to provide for my 2 daughters, and I don't go out. I stay at home on the weekends. I just keep to myself. But now I wake up in the morning and say, God, you know, this company's your company. You just decided to put a knucklehead like me in charge of it. You know, when I started saying, if he can save me, he can save you, that came out in the middle of nowhere. I had no clue why I did that. And I was thinking, you know, people aren't going to worry about this. And you know what? A lot more people like that. I get calls and messages all the time about, man, we love if he can save me, he can save you. I had one guy say he might put that on his gravestone when he passes away. You know, my life has been tough. It's been difficult. But I know it's going to be fine. And there's someone out there right now who's going through a situation. And that's the only reason I'm making this. Somebody is out there just waiting for me to tell you it's going to be fine. You're going to make it through it. You just got to sit down. Don't force things. Stay silent. Keep quiet. Do your best. Do your best to live. We're all sinners. I ain't the best Christian by far, but I do my best. And I thank God at night for getting me through the day. I forget to pray sometimes in the morning. I get going, but I always find time during the day to do it. And when you remember, God's timing is a lot different than my timing. My timing is I need it now. God's like, hold on, you haven't learned the lesson I'm trying to teach you. When he puts you through these hardships, he's trying to teach you a lesson. And it took me a long time to figure that one out. I'd get mad. Why? You know, when I got my papers and everything, I cursed God. I was mad. You didn't answer my prayers. You're not out there. You don't care about me. For 3 or 4 days, I was mad. And then one day I was like, you know what? Maybe there's something else to this. And then I got over it. And I made it through it. When the times get tough, for some reason, I'll make it through it. So if you're going through a hard time right now, remember, it's going to get better. It's going to get way better. The way, you know, God will have his vengeance in his time. And you know what? The way he gets back at the people who who've done you, and trust me, there's always someone that wants you to fail, always. But it's not so much that them having something bad happen, it's you becoming a person that God can look back and say, that's my work. That person right there, his testimony is my work. That's the reason I give him the glory, because I could have never done this on my own. I couldn't have. I can say I'm a simple man, living a simple life, just trying to make it to the next day. And one day I'll be really, really successful and be able to help others financially. I've always said, told my preacher, said, I don't know why, but my goal is to be able to go to every one of these little churches and give them money to help pay their power bill. That's always been, that came out of the middle of nowhere. Just to do that, just to help these small country churches pay their power bill. That's my dream. It's not for me to have a big truck or a brand new this or a brand new that. It's just to help other people. I just enjoy doing that. A crazy story is one day I was sitting there and we all have our angel. I truly believe that. They sit with us. And I was like, I'm going to name my angel. So I didn't know anything about archangels or anything. Nothing. And I was like, I'm going to name my angel Gabriel. Remember, I know nothing about angels and archangels. And 4 or 5 weeks later, something came up about Archangel Gabriel, and he's the messenger. And I started thinking just recently, like, wow, why would I pick Gabriel? I've never said that name a day in my life. I knew nothing about it, but I picked Gabriel. And now it seems that I'm a messenger. I don't do many of these videos, and I probably won't do another one for a long time. But to that person who thinks, man, how am I going to make through it? My life is horrible. There's no way I'm going to make it out of this. Let me tell you, it's going to be fine. And this is my person, and it took months and months and years to realize, the more I put my faith in God, the more I just let him deal with the situation and just sit back and go about my day, the more doors that open, the more good things that happen. He's just not going to answer your prayer if you're not doing your best to be a good steward of faith and a good steward of the Lord and a good person. So I live my life. I'm kind of enjoying being by myself. I get my girls every other week. And if anybody y'all know, that's my life. We go to church, but I still got a lot of learning to do. It is what it is. But to that person who's sitting there right now, not knowing if it's going to get any better, let me tell you, it's going to get better. You're going to be okay. Just relax. It's hard to do. Just relax. I'll probably lose a few followers on this, but you know what? It's all right. It's all right. Long as that person who needed to hear this today, it's going to be all right for them to change their perspective of, man, this guy went through rough times and was contemplating suicide and everything else. It's going to be all right. I know 2 guys who were going through a similar situation to mine, and both of them died. I hate it for them. I hate that they didn't get a chance to sit down. So if you're going through that time, just remember, it's going to be okay. Go sit by yourself in the corner and just talk to God. Say, help me. I need help. You got to surrender it. I had to surrender it. I had to just stop. And the more I surrender the tough situations and just say, God, I know you're going to take care of me. But you have to work. You have to put in the effort, and you got to do it in time. And the more he sees you putting in, this has happened to me. The more he saw me doing what I needed to do as a person for his glory, the better my life has become. And that's what he's going to do to you. You got to take that first step, and you got to try. You can't go off doing stupid stuff and say, God, I need some help. It really don't work that way. You can't be a knucklehead and then say, God, help me, and for him to say, oh, sure. Here's a few $100,000, your bill should be fine. No, it doesn't work that way. But it always works out. Y'all, I always say this, make a great day, make a wonderful day. It's up to you. I know I am. All right. See you.